Strictly Education with Dr. Tahira on location. We are here at the International Community School. I just finished presenting at the ASCD Ghana Conference. I have the honor to sit with Mr. Diallo Sumbry.
Got it.
Sumbry of Adinkra. Now, let me tell you why Adinkra is so important. Not only is Adinkra a partner to the Westbury School District, but Adinkra is one of the sponsors of ASCD, which provided this beautiful tour of Ghana, which exposed so many of us from the United States to this beautiful land. It was a birthright journey for most of us here. And so I have the honor of working with this gentleman, and I had the honor to stay at his beautiful chateau, Nana Diallo.
Yes.
That was absolutely beautiful. Now, I understand you are an educator yourself.
Yes.
So it's so relevant that this conference, you're here, you're a sponsor.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For most of my previous professional life, I worked with federal TRIO programs. As you know, federal TRIO programs, Upward Bound, Talent Search, McNair.
Okay.
So my professional career, technically, has been in college access.
Okay.
Helping low-income, first-generational students get access to college, matriculate, and graduate.
Wow, so I just finished presenting on the importance of having someone dedicated to that work. What were you thinking when I talked about that?
It was nostalgic, because I was sitting back there like, wow, I'm here right now, and this is what, and most people in Ghana don't know that that's my background, because I haven't really delved specifically into the education industry here, outside of being a partner with organizations like yours for tours. But I was just sitting there shaking my head like, I remember all of these workshops.
Wow.
Traveling to different states for workshops, presenting. So it was nostalgic, but it's good to see and know that it's growing.
Okay.
Right? I was looking at your presentation, and one of the quotes you said about AI, and I was literally having a conversation with somebody that's saying AI could be the impetus to leveling the playing field if we get people in schools teaching our young people that look like us about AI. Then I walk in here, I see your presentation, and I see you have a partner working with your school to do that. So
It's just that work, right?
Yeah,
so it really speaks to the work that you've been doing for so long,
Yes.
and just seeing it in full circle and knowing that it's in demand now.
Yes, I forget the statistic, but people of color do not travel and do study abroad anywhere near as much as others.
Yeah.
And the experience that it gives you in your life is invaluable.
Yeah.
And specifically, I think young people of color, especially from low-income communities, need to travel to Africa. It's nothing wrong with traveling to Europe. It's nothing wrong with traveling to Mexico. But I think they need to travel and see Africa, because they're going to see people that look like them.
Yeah, yeah. Is that the thinking behind the Adinkra Group and the work that you're doing?
Yes, so Adinkra actually means the message you give to God when you die. So the company name is based off the fact that we'll always do our life's work, right? It's not a job, it's not a company just to be a company.
Right.
We want to live our life doing what we believe God brought us here to do, which is, one, help connect our people to the African continent, and two, also help with education. I come from a family of educators. My mother's still a principal and a teacher.
Okay.
My sister's a teacher. My auntie was a teacher. My sister was a teacher. My brother's a teacher. Like literally, my entire family is educated.
Sure.
So we are just educating people on the African continent. So that's something that's very important.
So what you do is basically take tour groups, you educate them on the continent.
Yes.
You're working with my school district, the Westbury School District.
Yes, we are.
And we started this partnership literally this year, 2024, at the beginning of 2024. I still don't know how you were able to pull it off in a matter of weeks to host all of those young men, but they came back saying that you gave them an educational experience that they would have never had in their classroom. They came back as young men who were so conscious of themselves in the world as individuals. What did you do to them? What did you do to my boys?
Well, I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't just us. Number one, you sent them with a group of black male counselors who care about them.
Okay.
So it started before they came.
Okay.
Right? So some of the magic was the fact that they were guided by other black men who genuinely care about them.
Okay.
Right? When they got here, what we did is continue to provide that fence around them. We continue to provide support for the counselors.
Okay.
So we were able to connect their behavior in school to things that we saw along the way.
Okay.
When they visited the school and the community center
Yes.
here, when they learned about traditional culture, protocol, many of them were very familiar with some of these ideas
Sure.
from their grandparents. So
Sure.
they could see, and it's like, wow, I didn't know. The ideas and the thoughts they had about coming to Africa versus what they experienced,
Correct.
and some of the things that you can't define are the feelings that people have inside. Like, it took them to get home to think about it, to be able to put it in words and describe it. But sometimes you just can't describe that feeling,
Sure.
right? That's coming from inside. It just feels so good. So it wasn't difficult for us to put it together, mainly because it's what we do. For example, Dr. Tahira, if I decided to say I wanted to interview you, you don't really need a lot of prep. You might want to do some prep, but you can do it without the prep. Because it's what you do every day. It's what you believe. When you're reading articles, when you're talking to people, and this is what we do here. So somebody could call us today and say, hey, I got 20 young people, I want to bring them to Ghana, I want to have this experience. Can we fly out on Monday in 7 days? I could say yes. As long as everybody...
Literally, you just said yes because you did that with my boys. I don't know how you pull that off.
As long as you have a passport, we have very strong relationships here.
Okay.
Right? We've been here, working here for about 5 or 6 years.
Okay.
I have the benefit of being one of the people who helped to create Ghana's Year of Return.
Okay.
So we have high-level relationship with the government.
So
But
you were
beyond
behind that.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
that's impressive. Okay.
But our vendors, our people around the country at these particular sites that we want to take people to, we work with them all the time.
Okay.
So when we make a phone call, they answer and they show up for us
Okay.
because we show up for them.
Okay.
So very strong relationships that make it easy for us to move
Relationships.
small and large groups of people. Your presentation today was on relationships.
It sure was. It sure
and
was.
that's what it's really about.
And I've identified you
relationships.
one of our partners. So I've had other superintendents reached out to me, literally, like the boys were all over social media, just through my brother's keeper, of course,
Yep.
right? Through President Barack Obama's initiative, which has sustained itself for many years after his presidency.
Right.
So we give him kudos for that, for empowering our young men. But I had people reach out to me and say, well, who was the tour guide? Like, how did you get that done? What would you say to superintendents who are watching this segment right now in terms of those who are thinking about bringing their young men, or
Here.
even young ladies, right, to Ghana?
Yeah. Is that my case? Call us. Call us. We got you. No, seriously, it's literally just reach out, right? The other thing that we do.
But wait a minute, before you go there, how do they reach out to you? You said, call me.
So you can send us an email. You can check our website.
Okay.
Via adinkragroup.com.
So it's ANDRINKA group?
Yes. How to spell Adinkra? No. ADINKRA.
A-D. Okay.
The
Uh-huh.
Adinkra
Adinkra.
Group.com.
Okay.
You can send us an email at info@theadinkragroup.com.
Okay.
You can call or WhatsApp or iMessage or
Okay.
text +233
Sure.
24
Sure.
712
Okay.
1232.
Okay.
Any of those ways you can reach out to us. What we do specifically that I think helps us to make sure people have these experiences is we do the discovery call. So we don't give you a cookie cutter itinerary.
That's what I was going to ask you. What distinguishes you from listen, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram,
You see it everywhere.
I'm on TikTok, and everyone has a tour group. You want to come to Ghana? Here's a tour group. What distinguishes yours from the others?
Well, we decided to change our model. We see a higher level of satisfaction when people are coming for a specific purpose. So if I just said, hey, I'm doing a tour to Ghana, and I got 25 people that signed up, I might have 25 people that are coming here for different reasons.
Okay.
5 of those people might want to party all night and then wake up late. Another 5 of those people might want to be here for historical, cultural. Another 5 might be here to look at textiles, art, and crafts. So now everybody has to deal with everybody else, and you may leave feeling like you didn't get what you came for. So one of the things that we do with the discovery call is we find out what is the experience you want to have.
You personalize it.
Personalized, customized. So now we say, okay, Dr. Tahira, what is it that you want to accomplish? Give me 3 things that you want to accomplish on this trip for your students. You say A, B, C. We create the itinerary specifically for that. The conversations, the meetings, the places you visit, And not even just what you do, but the order in which you do it is important too. And a lot of people don't know that. So you can come and you can go to the slave castle first.
Yeah.
You can do it last.
Okay.
You can do it in the middle.
Okay.
But it's an ebb and a flow, just
Okay.
like everything else,
Okay.
that takes you on a journey
Okay.
while you're here.
I understand.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So I think that's one of the things that make us unique. We're also mainly, we work by referral.
Yeah.
So most people who come to this is because someone else.
Ah, okay. That's why people reached out to me to ask me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Someone else said, yo, you want to go to Ghana and you want to do it right, you want to have a good time, call the Adinkra Group. And it's the faith that person has in the referral.
Sure.
Because they like, okay, Dr. Tahira ain't going to send me somebody who janky. She's not going to send me somebody who's not serious or somebody who's not trustworthy. She's going to send me. So it's my responsibility to take care of your name when I get a call.
Sure. Sure.
So if somebody says, I got your number from Dr. Tahira at Westbury Schools, the superintendent, and she said that you're the company to take us to Ghana. Now, if I don't do well, I'm putting dirt on your name, for lack of a better word.
No, I got
right?
you. I got you.
So I have to take care of your name. Now, that person is going to say, they're going to feel just as confident recommending me to somebody. Not, oh, I met somebody that I got from Dr. Tahira,
Right.
but directly from them.
Right.
So it's important for us, very important.
I see, and reputation does matter. And I have to say that I found you through ASCD,
Yep.
Ghana, right?
Yep.
And so I was on the calls, I was a presenter, and they were speaking about the Adinkra Group. And so when my young men were planning to go to this journey, I said, I think I know someone who can host you.
Right.
And we took a chance because I had not experienced your work first.
Yep.
And we took a chance, and I must say, you didn't disappoint.
Thank you.
You didn't disappoint.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful experience, and I'm just going to recommend that anyone who's watching Strictly Education, and if you want to take your young men and women,
Yep.
young women as well, through the birthright journey,
Yep.
and just to experience Ghana, to dispel most of what people think Africa is all about, to see that it is a highly, the word that I'm looking for. It's a productive area. It's beautiful. The people itself are beautiful. The food is amazing. The tour, and just to feel the walk that your ancestors trekked is powerful. Please don't hesitate to reach out to the Adinkra Group. Now, this is not a commercial, because you know I don't do commercials, but I'm actually speaking about an experience that I had that I am also willing to share with my colleagues and those who are also interested. And this is not limited to African American students. We had children from different ethnicities,
backgrounds.
and it's important that we normalize educating children on different ethnicities and different backgrounds and giving them a lesson that we just can't give in the classroom. You know, and I know as educators who are watching this, experiential learning is the best learning. There is no textbook, there is no resource tool better than scholars having the opportunity to experience. So I thank you.
Thank you.
I just got one last question.
Yes, ma'am.
What is next for Adinkra? Because I know you have something up your sleeves now. I have to admit, and you may not want me to talk about it, that community center that you
Yes.
are building
Yes,
is
yes.
phenomenal.
Well, one of the things that the community center will allow us to do is to do more with these cultural immersion trips for young people.
Okay.
Like I mentioned my previous life in education. So our goal ultimately really is to be able to host more young people.
Okay.
Right? But now we'll actually have a facility where we can host you and other Ghanaian student counterparts where you all can actually have time and space to do workshops together.
Okay.
So now, over the course of that trip, you can spend 3 days with other Ghanaian students, right?
Oh, wow.
Doing icebreakers, playing games, doing just simple
What an experience.
cross-cultural things that you will be like, wow, because you might think that they're so different than you. And just to allow them to begin to create that relationships, you never know. You're going to go to college one day, you're going to stay in touch. You might be like, yo, man, I got this this summer internship in Ghana. He's like, okay, yeah, I remember you from, those of us who are older, we've had the opportunity to build relationships internationally.
That's right.
Right? We have colleagues and friends
That's
that
right.
we know from around the world that you
That's
can call, that you can connect with.
That's right.
And what we want to do is help our people have that experience
That's
as
right.
well. So we'll be able to do more with that.
That's right.
And then we got a couple more things up our sleeve too, as you know. But that's the major thing.
Yeah.
So your next group of Westbury students will be able to have that access.
Oh,
with
that's
students teaching each
wonderful.
other.
Oh,
Ghanaian students
that's
teaching
what's
your students,
right.
your students teaching them.
But that's important to have that global experience, and just the whole premise of this conference is
Yes.
talking about preparing them for the world of work, right?
Yes.
And preparing them means that they should be able to interact and be able to communicate with people from other cultures, and it's teaching them also empathy. There's so many great lessons
So
that
many.
that can come out of this.
Yep.
Thank you for your time. I know you're busy with your tour group. You have another group coming in.
Yep.
Post
And then another
conference.
one after that. We
You
good, though.
hosted my group pre-conference. I just appreciate all that you do, and thank you. And I'd like for each and every one of you to just get a small glimpse, just a vignette of what my young men experience with the Adinkra Group here in Ghana.
This is Mr. Banks. I am the advisor for My Brother's Keeper here at Westbury High School. We had the awesome opportunity to go to Ghana this year. We had 8 days spent with 8 students. We had a wonderful time experiencing all the landmarks, all the slave trade, all the dungeons. We was jet skiing on horses. But all of that, our young men were totally transformed.
Okay, once again, I'm Alvin Williams, one of the co-advisors of the MBK group here at Westbury High School. We're pleased to announce that we had a very successful trip to Ghana over the past spring break. We took 4 seniors, 3 juniors, and 1 sophomore. It's a nice eclectic mix. We had cultural things. We had some day at the water safari resort. And we just, really got around. We went to a cocoa farm. There's so many things the guys will tell you about, but it was a blessing for me making connections with my ancestors over there, especially at the slave castle. And we just hope to go again and bring a new group of guys. And thank you so much to all that supported us here in Westbury and also outside of Westbury High School. Okay, Aquala.
Good afternoon. My name is Kyle Bolar. I am school counselor here at Westbury High School, and I'm consulting with the My Brother's Keepers program here at the high school level. We had the opportunity to explore Accra, Ghana, and West Africa this particular school year, and the guys are going to give you their firsthand experience.
So we got to visit a school in Ghana, and we got to see that the materials that they were lacking, and that kind of it touched me in a way, because in the US here we take these materials for granted, like a notebook, a pencil, pen, paper, all that stuff. Those are things that they don't have, but yet they still put in more effort than we do in school, and they take things more serious, and that just comes to show how we take life for granted.
The most life-changing part of the trip was probably the last bath, learning all the history in Asin Maso, I think that's what it was called. Just learning all that history, it really hit. And then I felt like the spirits of my ancestors just kind of touching me, talking to me, trying to reach out to me while I was on that walk towards the last bath. And it just hit, learning all that, learning how they had to try to survive even during the last bath, where it was hard to make it out of that. So for me, I learned that I have to really appreciate how I'm living and what I got to go through, because I'm my ancestors' wildest dreams. So
while in Africa, we got to see the African community, and seeing the difference between the community that was in Ghana and seeing our community was definitely life-changing. Seeing how they operate and how they all work together to all benefit their community, and then to come back, it makes you wanna do more, it makes you wanna help out more with the world, basically, yeah.
What changed my life in Africa was seeing both schools. The first school we went to was, sadly, the teachers were on strike. We didn't get to meet any of the students or anything like that, but our sponsor, Diallo, he told us what the students go through in terms of supplies, and how much of an effect our supplies would have on them. They go through notebooks. Groups of students share one notebook. It was sad to hear, but when we visited the second school, we actually got to see the students. We actually got to interact with them a little bit, but they were in the middle of class, so we didn't get to play with them or talk to them, but it was still a beautiful experience.
One really impactful thing that I got from the Africa trip was definitely the slave dungeons. To learn that that our ancestors were in slave dungeons, sitting there waiting for merchants to get them, waiting there 6 weeks was crazy. And to also think about that they had to use the bathroom in the same spots that they were at. They had to vomit. They were bleeding there. All the feces just gathering up at their ankles, and it all matted up to become the ground, which was like insane. And that filled me with so much anger. And to know that history is something I have to share with my family and other people in Westbury that didn't know that history.
Visiting the slave dungeons and how mistreated the slaves were and what they went through. It taught me to think, like to appreciate life more, because what they went through we don't go through now, and to always think about that when you're doing something like bad or wrong.
One of the things that mainly inspired me was learning about all the freedom fighters like W.E.B. Du Bois, Nkrumah, Malcolm X, all the greats. We went to the slave dungeons and we got to walk in our ancestors' footsteps when we entered the last bath. This was a walk where we all walked barefooted in a line, and it was really like solemn and dark. We didn't talk the whole way there, but the journey was their last bath before they were sent off, and it really made you have an appreciation for all the sacrifices our ancestors have given us and everything that we've achieved so far. And it's like we're getting to a point where everybody's separated and wants to succeed on their own, but we don't see the bigger goal. Like, if we work together, we could achieve more. And I feel like that was one of the most impactful lessons I've learned.
One thing that really impacted me and I think still sticks with me today is the slave dungeons and just walking across the stepping on your ancestors, and just that whole feeling and that environment of being able to walk back and walk in. One thing that really sticks with me is that was said by a tour guide, is that we're our ancestors' wildest dreams, and I think that really sticks with me, to just keep working, keep striving, and keep trying to be the best version of me.
Thank you all for watching this small segment of Strictly Education with Dr. Tahira. I want to thank my host, Mr. Diallo, for all that he is doing to empower the people here in Ghana to be the best version of themselves, and even the people at home in the United States, for bringing them here to expose them to this rich, beautiful culture. See you next time on Strictly Education.